Hello, my name is Alma. I'm from Oslo in Norway. I was born in 2004 and I'm 19 years old. Right now I go to something called Folkehøyskole in Denmark because I have a gap year, so it's just a school where you have some different subjects but you don't get evaluated and it's just for fun. And some of my hobbies are to knit, to run, to be with friends, play games, and watch series. So right now, as I said, I go to something called Folkehøyskole, and last spring I finished 13 years of school in Norway. And I also had a job, but right now I'm living half a year here in Denmark, where at this school I have different subjects that I find interesting, like theater, philosophy, psychology, and some art subjects. And it's just most for the social biz I go here. It's very social and very fun, and we always play games after classes, and we have different lectures in the evenings too. For example, last evening survivor from Holocaust was here and taught us some important things, but I most focus on chilling and having fun with friends, but before I came here, I had a job where I made events for young people at museums in Oslo, where my job was to plan and host these events and convey art in an interesting way to young people. My first day in class here was what I would consider as very normal. I was excited, maybe a bit nervous, but mostly excited. And people responded to me very normal. And my day-to-day life here at school is also very good. I feel people are helpsome when it comes to my vision. If I can't see things, I can ask the people around me, and people are very helpsome and very understandable. And I think I am good to adapting and finding solutions when I can't see things. For example, I use my phone a lot to take pictures, or if I have the possibility, I go just close to the things I need to see. There are some issues though when it comes to seeing who people are from long distance, but it's fine. When it comes to the question, how did the mechanism of adaptation to your special needs work at school or workplace? I would consider my computer with a Zoom. With Zoom on the screen, I could zoom with my fingers. And the screen was very helpsome. I used that a lot because for me it was important that my mechanism of adaptation were effective, that they were fast and didn't make my work more slowly. So I used my computer with the Zoom a lot, and I took a lot of pictures with my phone too. When it comes to the question, what would your assessment be for adaptation measures of the school? I would say that I were in control of all the adaptation measures, so I was very happy with all the adaptation measures, and they were all good. I think my experience with my school period also was very good. I think I were lucky with having good teachers and a lot of help with my parents, and I focused a lot on school myself, so I had a very good experience at school. When when it came to like the academic part, and I had a lot of good friends. So on the social part, I had a good time in school. I loved going to school, and yeah. And I had my own mechanism when it came to my vision. So I felt I had solutions when I couldn't see. I just used my phone or my computer, or I would say to the teacher that I couldn't see, and they would be very understandable and helpful. When it comes to what could have been better or improved, I would say that like I don't have any concrete things that could have been better. I felt that everything that should have been done were done when it came to things that could have been improved. My advices to teachers is to give PowerPoints to all the students before class, because then I would be able to see the things on the PowerPoint from my own computer with the Zoom, and it will be much more easier to follow along in classes. And of course, it was always helpful when the teachers wrote with big letters on the screen. And like the most important thing is to have good communication between teacher and student when it comes to a student with low vision, because it like the help people need is very varies from student to student, and good communication is always the key. And big writing on tests is also good, because even though you get more time on the tests, it's always nice to have big writing, because it's more easy to read like wrong things, like read with mistakes when you have bad vision. So big writing on tests is so helpful. Or I think the best thing would be to have the test on computer. So more use of computer than physical things is very good, and something I valued and asked for myself. So, and my teachers would give it to me, so that was very helpful. Another tips is to say the name of the people, or when students raise their hands. If the teacher pick a student, it's always helpful to say the name. For example, when I raised my hand, I couldn't see if the teacher had eye contact with me, so I wouldn't know if I were like allowed to speak. So when the teacher said, "Alma, like your turn to speak," that would be very helpful. And my advice to other young people with low vision is more like find your own methods that helps you, because it varies from person to person what is the best technique and mechanisms. And don't let the vision take control of you, because it can be overwhelming to like not see. But instead of thinking on the things that you can see, think of everything else you're good at. And another thing I did in class, where I focused a lot on what the teacher said. So I wrote the things the teacher said, maybe rather than what the teacher wrote on the screen. But I would say just, whatever works for you. Just don't give up. I feel that it can be easy to give up, and I would say don't give up, even though it's hard. But of course, don't be too hard on yourself, and don't be ashamed. You are good enough. Thank you for listening to me.